James sat in his dimly lit study, surrounded by shelves filled with books of all genres. He had always been an avid reader, finding solace and adventure in the worlds that unfolded within the pages of his beloved novels. Tonight, he had picked up a thick, leather-bound book with a simple title, Reflections in Time. As he cracked open the book and began to read, he found himself captivated by the words on the page. The story was beautifully written, drawing him in like no other book had before. It was the tale of a man named Daniel, living a seemingly ordinary life until he stumbled upon a mysterious old diary. But as James continued to read, a chill ran down his spine. The diary's entries were too familiar, the events too closely mirroring his own life. He blinked and turned the pages faster, unable to tear his eyes away from the uncanny parallels. The protagonist, Daniel, was now navigating a series of eerie coincidences that mirrored James' life in every way. The book recounted conversations James had with friends, places he had visited, and even personal thoughts he had never shared with anyone. Heart pounding, James kept reading, unable to resist the urge to see where this bizarre narrative would lead. As he turned the page, the book's tone shifted from a mere reflection of his life to a grim prediction of his future. According to Reflections in Time, a looming threat was about to descend upon Daniel. A relentless killer, known only as the Shadow, was drawing nearer with every passing chapter. The book described chilling details about the murders committed by the Shadow, and each gruesome description was followed by a reference to an event that was yet to unfold in James' life. James slammed the book shut, his hands trembling. His rational mind told him it was impossible, that it was just an eerie coincidence, but his racing heart refused to listen. He had to know how it ended, even as dread coursed through his veins. As the days passed, James couldn't put the book down. He became obsessed with deciphering the mysterious connection between his life and the story within the pages of Reflections in Time. He meticulously compared events in the book to his daily activities, looking for clues or patterns that might explain the bizarre link. Each night, he would pore over the book, desperately trying to stay one step ahead of the narrative. He made efforts to change his routine, alter his choices, and even avoid the places mentioned in the book. But no matter what he did, the story continued to play out, as if it was determined to reach its dark conclusion. The nights grew colder, and the tension in James' life escalated. He felt like a character in a nightmare, trapped in a story he could not control. The relentless pursuit of the Shadow drew nearer, and James knew that his time was running out. Desperation finally led James to the author of the book, a reclusive writer named Eleanor Gray. He pleaded with her for answers, convinced that she held the key to his fate. Eleanor listened to his frantic tale and then revealed a shocking secret. She had no idea how her book had come to mirror James' life so closely. She had never met him, nor had she intentionally written a story that paralleled his existence. It was a mystery that even she could not explain. With a heavy heart, James realized that he was left with only one choice: to confront the looming threat head-on, just as Daniel did in the book. Armed with the knowledge of the story's conclusion, he steeled himself for the inevitable encounter with the Shadow. The night was dark and foreboding as James ventured into the unknown. The sound of his own racing heart echoed in his ears, but he knew that he couldn't escape his destiny. As he stepped into the shadows, he whispered to himself, "I will not be a character in someone else's story. I will write my own ending." The confrontation with the Shadow was intense and harrowing, but James managed to outwit the killer and survive the deadly encounter. As the first rays of dawn broke through the darkness, he realized that he had taken control of his own fate. Returning home, he carefully placed Reflections in Time back on the shelf, a reminder of the strange and terrifying journey it had taken him on. He had faced his darkest fears and emerged stronger for it, determined to live a life of his own making, not one dictated by the pages of a book.